KTN News.
Indeed, the rebounding of the interior design sector. And remember that if you're keeping animals, where these animals are kept, be it poultry, be it different kind of animals, even the interior design of that space has to be good for that poultry to do well. And that takes us to the next item on matters poultry farming, which has gained traction in the recent past, given that it is easy to start and has quick returns on investment. This has attracted many youths and women into this lucrative venture. On this week's episode of The Resident Vet, our resident vet, Dr. Paul Kangede, shares on how to start and run a profitable poultry farming venture. Hey.
Poultry farming business is a lucrative venture when you get it right from the start. Today on The Resident Vet, we are in Kitengera, where we're going to tell you how you can start and run this business to profits. A business plan becomes a very important first step for any person going into any business, because then you are seeing already you have what the product in mind, but you have not yet started. Through the process, then you have things running and you're imagining I need ABCD to have a trade before even I start. And for a poultry business, then a business plan would include things like the housing structures you need and the cost, the cost, of course, of the chicken you desire to buy, be it the kienyeji ones, the broilers or the rears. Feed becomes very important, how much you'd invest on a day-to-day basis from the point they get into your farm up to when you sell them or when you sell the products. And as well as the market, like where do you think or intend to be selling your products? Are you going to do value addition, or you just going to just sell the whole thing to the market? As well as disease management, you also have that, just to know when are you supposed to vaccinate against this disease and the other, when are you supposed to deworm, and what biosecurity measures you put around. And of course, something that majority of the people forget, the importance of investing in a good worker, because once you get that right, they are able to even solve other things for you, even when you are not in the farm, in case then you are not the one who is running the farm.
I started with 100 chicks, and then I raised them up until they matured. And then from that 100 chicks, now I have multiplied them to the number that I have currently. Remember, for me, as you have seen, there is a yard, some bit of free range. So waking up is preparing the feeders, preparing the drinkers, and then feeding the drinkers and feeding the feeders. Once I have done that, then I let the chicken out. From that now is the morning. Then during the day at around 11, then there is a section there whereby I do feed my chicken on greens. If I have hydroponic fodder, I give them. If I have market waste, I give them, like I have done today. At around 11, that's the time I normally collect the eggs for the first time. For the second time, I normally collect eggs at 1 o'clock. Then at 3 o'clock, I now give the chicken the last part of the feed. You know, I normally divide into 2 portions, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Once I do that, then I make sure that they have enough water, and then I collect the eggs for the last time at 3. From there now, I wait until 5, when now I do the chicken now gets in, and then I do close the doors and make sure that each and every chicken is secure now for the night.
The housing becomes a fundamental issue when you're talking about chicken. Because imagine these one have so many predators. There are dogs, there are cats, there are people who would want to steal from your neighborhood, you know. So then in this case you need a secure location to be able to put up this. And the second most important thing is to make sure that your perimeter is functional. To have a good perimeter that can ward off these unwarranted people or things that we want to rip you off. Just making sure you can raise about 3 feet or 4, and then from there you do mesh wire, yeah, just to make maybe a cuckoo net or something, just to make sure that even wild birds cannot access your chicken, yeah, just to keep off these diseases. The diseases that the wild birds could be carrying. You want to, again, orientate it into east-west orientation to make sure that the sun is passing overhead, just to avoid the excessive sunlight that will be coming into the chicken houses and thereby causing heat stress. Yeah? The ventilation, again, you make sure that it is sufficient, air flowing through, to avoid cases of even ammonia, because ammonia, so much ammonia in the chicken house can really cause them to have respiratory infections, which could really at some point kill your chicken. Yeah. When it comes to your breeding stock, I mean, or your poultry stock, you would always look out for a good supplier or a credible supplier. There are so many people coming outside here saying, I supply day-old chicks, we do this kind of business, they just bought a hatching machine and they are doing this business. But you find that the practices that they follow right from the egg, they are not good, because at some point then you find that your chicken were infected through the egg. And therefore, by the time they are about a few weeks, then you find that your chicken are dying and this kind of thing. So, but there are reputable breeders all over the country who have, where people can source some good quality chicks. And once then you bring them from there, in fact, even some of them vaccinate your chicken when they are day-old, some part of vaccine, the first one. So you find that they have already vaccinated for you when they are giving you. Then now once you reach your farm, you just continue with the rest of the vaccination protocol. And the beauty is that for these ones that the reputable breeders, you are looking for quality, the quality of chicks that you're buying from that, and they should also be free of diseases, and they should be healthy, yeah. So that then once you bring them to your farm, you just proceed on to make sure that they are growing up to the point where your farm is well. Some other people just buy eggs for kienyeji and just use them to brood on their own using the chicken, but that now becomes maybe easier if you have many chicken that can just brood on the eggs. And the eggs you should buy, they should be less than a week old, just to make sure that their hatchability rate is higher than 90%. Yeah, and just if you want to increase the hatchability rate, then you can use some detergent, some warm water, and just wipe the egg over the shell just to make sure that it is bacteria free. Yeah? That really helps scale up the hatchability rate in your poultry if you're going kienyeji. But for the layers and the broilers, purely sourced from those reputable breeders who have them in numbers, in the highest numbers you desire to have.
There is a lot of the prices. The feed prices is so high. I have managed to cope with the situation by making my own feeds, and also letting in a lot of greens in form of hydroponic fodder, in form of market waste, and many other. But doing that, that one has kept me in this business.
Now for the feeds then, you want to feed your chicken a good amount, or quality amount, to make sure that they are growing as fast as possible. The feed conversion efficiency is high, yeah. Just to avoid, you could be feeding your birds on some bogus feed, and you just see that they are not even growing, they are not even laying eggs. The reason as to why you are feeding them fast is they prioritize on themselves, sustaining themselves, the breathing rate, the heart rate, walking around, those kind of things, yeah. Then second is, apart from growth then, is apart from sustenance of their own living, so that they can live fast. And then second, they grow, from what you give them, and then they produce the eggs and the products. Of course, the meat, they stock up for the nini. They stock up their weight just to make sure that they reach market weight.
We have chicks. We do sell chicks, and we normally sell when we have some orders. For example, if we receive some orders from somebody, then we can now proceed into our hatchery, and then we do produce the chicks. We also have eggs. We do sell even fertilized eggs. We normally do broiler chicken farming, and we also sell organic eggs for consumption. Organic eggs, very sweet. We also have chicken, whole chicken. We normally sell whole chicken. And finally, we also have the breeders.
As you have heard from the poultry manager, Peter Mwiruri, and myself, it is possible to start this business and run it so that you can earn handsome profits, regardless of whether you are doing it for layers, for broilers, or for improved kienyeji. That's all we had for you today on The Resident Vet. Until next time, bye-bye.